of 2018, a young black brother who was 14 at the time. His name is Brendan Walker, right? So Brendan, I'm not sure which state this was in. I should have got that. But anyways, I can still make the point. Brendan he missed his bus, right? So he's a 14-year-old kid. He missed his bus. And after missing his bus, he went to different houses in the areas, knocking on doors just to get directions, to get some help, right? He's 14. He's lost. He's probably confused, probably a little scared, right? So he knocks on the door of a dude by the name of Jeffrey Zeigler. Now, Jeffrey Zeigler, his wife came to the door, right? Now, his wife came to the door, seen a black face, and thought that they were getting robbed, or thought that the young black boy was a criminal, right? And keep it in mind, one of the reasons why I'm bringing up this story is because in our society, as black folks, we gotta be cognizant of the fact that your 11, 12, 13, 14-year-old can be seen as a man in society. They don't allow our kids to be adolescents and to make small adolescent mistake. They treat us like grown men from the goddamn womb, right? So he knocks on the door. The wife doesn't answer the door. She looks through the door, screams for her husband that someone's trying to rob him, or there's a criminal at the door or whatever. Now, Brennan can see through the window that the husband is coming. The husband has grabbed a gun, so he just starts running, right? I mean, like any kid would do, he starts running. Mr. Zeigler comes out of his home and begins shooting his shotgun at a 14-year-old fucking kid right now. Thankfully, he didn't hit him, like he wasn't hit at all, but because it was on camera, because Mr. Zeigler tried to say it was an accident and he didn't really pull the trigger and it was a warning shot. But because there was a camera in his house, it was proven that all of that was bullshit. He was trying to kill the little dude, right? So ultimately, Mr. Zeigler was put in jail for his crimes. He was put in jail. I think he got up to like 7 years or something like that. But I'm reading the story today because he, at this point, wants an appeal because he feels like his criminal, and get this, I think this is a little bit of the white privilege that we have to deal with in society. He felt his previous criminal history shouldn't have been taken into account when they sentenced him, right? He feel his sentence is too harsh. And the first thing I thought when I saw that, I'm like, okay, welcome to the club, motherfucker. Now you see how it feels to get the full extent of the law put in front of you and your past being used against you, right? This is shit that we have to go through every day. But I also wanted to make sure I spoke about this story. Now, of course, he wants to get an appeal. I think the judge denied his appeal, which is a great thing. But I wanted to bring up this story so we can understand our young black men. We need to make sure they understand how big of a target is on their back more times than not, right? Think about this. This is a lost child looking to get information. He could have lost his life just for being black in America. You feel what I'm saying? So when we look at the things that go on, and this is a lot of history repeating itself, but we got to get to a point where we decide, okay, what are we going to do as a people? And one of the first things we can do is inform our children, inform the people around us of the dangers of being black in America. Like, we can't get away from that. I don't like it when a racialized incident happens to a young person or even an older person, and then at that point they want to begin to look at some of the injustices that we have to deal with. Don't wait, family. Don't wait. Begin teaching your kids at a young age so they can know, hey, maybe I'm not going to just walk up to any door because of how I'm looked at as a black man. Maybe I'm going to find a store or find some other place that could be used more of a safe haven instead of just knocking on people's door. Because unfortunately, when your skin is black, just like that lady showed, she didn't see a 14-year-old kid. Unfortunately, she seen a grown black man based on any preconceived notion she has about our culture. And as we've learned, there's several towns in this country, some even being sundown towns. If you're not familiar with what a sundown town is, there's a great book by a white man named, God damn it, I can't think of the author of the book, but there's a great book called Sundown Towns, where he basically, James Lowen is the author of Sundown Towns, where he basically goes over hundreds upon hundreds of small towns and even bigger towns in America that was created by white society to be all white towns. And he would talk about all of the measures they would go through to keep the town all white, whether it be violence, whether it be intimidation, whether it be through the real estate association, right? So that's what I kind of thought about when I seen this story. He could have missed the bus and walked into a small town or a small community that's used to being all white. So they're going to police that community as such, right? So I'm happy the brother wasn't hit. I'm happy that this white man, Jeffrey Zeigler, was not given any leeway. His ass should definitely remain in jail for trying to kill one of our babies. You feel me? So, next news story. So